In this video, we're going to have a look at the vertical lookup and how it works. The vertical lookup and the horizontal lookup, they're basically identical in concept. The idea behind a lookup is a table, and what you're looking at here is a sample table that I use for grading students' letter grades to their mark, to their grade and their letter grade, as well as maybe their GPA mark as well. So when do you use a vertical lookup? A vertical lookup is used when you have multiple conditions. So for example, if you have a student that gets between 0 and 49 or 0 to 50, you want to assign the letter F. And if you get a student between the amount of 50 and 49.999, they get a P, and so on. So vertical lookups are great when you've got a consistent amount of conditions. So for example, if Bob got, let's say, 45%, that was their grade, I want to know what Bob's letter grade is. And we can use a vertical lookup to accomplish this. So basically what I want to do is I want to take this and I'm going to compare this. I can say, is it there, there, there? Where does it fall? Where is it true? If this is true, then accept the letter F. So that's what I want to do. I want to go in and I want the letter F to be here. So rather than as an instructor going through and actually looking it up and doing the condition in my head, I can have Excel do it for me. This is a very, very powerful feature in Excel, and it's used all the time when you have consistent conditions in a worksheet, a spreadsheet. So let's do this. Let's go 55. Let's go, well, maybe I should use numbers like 54, 64, 74, 84, and so on. 94, we'll put in 100. All right. Now, let's write the function. So it's equal to, and it's going to be a vertical lookup. The reason I need it's vertical is because it looks up in a vertical form. This is vertical. So if the table's in a vertical form already, that's when you use VLOOKUP. When to use HLOOKUP? If the table was horizontal. So if it was laid out in this method, that's when you use a horizontal lookup. But this table's in a vertical lookup, so we'll do that. All right, so let's look at the first argument. So VLOOKUP is the function, and then the first argument is lookup what value. What are you trying to look up? Well, I want to look up the student's mark. The student's grade is 45. So that's what I want to look up, and it's relative. So that means that this letter grade is relative to Bob. So it's in its natural state. I'll leave it like that. Let's go to the second argument. Next one is, where's the table that you're looking this up? So the word array, another way you can think of an array is a table or a list, you might think of it. So the table is right here. It's this table right there. Now that's a table I'm going to refer to constantly. So I'm going to lock that in. Now again, if you remember from the previous video, it's F4. You push F4, that locks in the table. And that means when I copy this down, it'll always look at that table in those exact cells. So that's the table. Let's go back to the third argument. And I go to these arguments, by the way, by putting in a comma. Commas separate the arguments. The reason they call it an argument is because we can argue all sorts of things. It could be column 1, could be column 2, could be column 3. It's asking here what column index, meaning which column number do you want to display? Well, I want to whatever's displayed in the table that's not in column 0, but what's in column 1, I want what's in column 2. So I'm going to put a 2 there. And it's asking for, do I want it to be, what kind of range am I looking up? Is it from 0 to 49.99999, or is it an exact match? Well, this is a range because I don't know, students could get anywhere from 0 to 49.999, so I'm going to say it's an approximate match right there. So that argument is going to be called true. A little note I'll make here is that whenever you see square brackets just indicate that it's not required, it's optional, meaning that I don't even need to put that in. It defaults to true by default. So I'll leave it like that. So before I push enter, I want to know what number do you think is going to, or what letter grade are they going to get? So they're going to get an F. There it is. Well, we got the right answer, so we know that's right. But we don't know if this is going to work if I copy it down. What do you get if you got 54? 54, you should get a P. Well, if I pull this down, it should be a P. Perfect. Now, I'm going to keep pulling it down all the way down, and the last one should be an A. Got it. So it looks like it's working, but let's check to make sure it's not. Let's say this one's 45. Now we know it's an F. Good. This one is, let's go 100. Should be an A plus, right? 95 we know is an A plus as well, but 94 we know is an A. And then 90, again is an A, but 89. And so what I'm doing is I'm just testing to make sure the function is working properly. So that's an example of how a vertical lookup works. It's an incredibly powerful function if you need to look up information from a table of some sort. Now, and I could do the exact same thing with the next one here. Let's call it the GPA. Only we can do this one a lot quicker now. Equal to the vertical lookup bracket. Let's look up again. This time I could look up the letter F, or I could go back to the grade. Just for fun here, let's go with the letter F. Well, let's see if I go with the letter F. Yeah, this should still work. That one there is relative, so I'll keep that. The table array is now just these two. I'm going to lock those in. My index number this time is not column 1, but it's column 2 of that table. And then the last one is an approximate match. No, it's an exact match. I want these to be exact. If it's a letter F, I want it to be 0. There we go. Close the bracket. And I'm expecting to get a letter grade of 0. That makes sense. If I drop it down, I should get a 0. I do. If I drop it down again, I should get 4.33. Good. So you can see here, I've just created, now I don't have to actually do any data entry. All I do as an instructor, all I have to do is list my student marks right here. And everything else will be automatically calculated for me. All right, well, I hope that explains what a vertical lookup is. Horizontal lookup is virtually the same thing, except the chart, the table, I can just paste this and paste it maybe this way, right? I can copy it and then paste it vertically. You see that little trick I just did there? And we could do this in the same way, but this time I'd have to use a vertical or a horizontal. I'd look up the letter grades. Now I think it's all out of whack here now, so I needed to get the student name in here as well. But hopefully you get the idea of what I was going for there. All right, so I hope that explains it, and I'll see you in the next video.